Hey guys, Minus here from WoWPlus.org again, and we're actually going to be talking about KUI nameplates today. So that's why I have two wizards attacking me here, so I can actually show you how the different stuff works with this add-on. So to begin with, to get into this, you can get into it from the options interface screen and get to add-ons, or you can type KUI nameplates /KUI nameplates to get into it. And this add-on is going to change the bars above the heads of the enemies you're fighting, keep them a little more clean and organized. Now, something important to get to before we start with the actual add-on is there's two important add-on changes that you want to do in names. First of all, turn off your personal resource display. I don't feel like that's something that most people will want to use. You're more than welcome to, but in this video I have that turned off. And then the nameplate motion type here, stacking is what I put on instead of overlapping. It seems to work a little bit better, and there's some settings that KUI will allow you to use with it. So getting back into add-ons and going to KUI nameplates, it looks like there's a lot here. I'm going to show you some quick options here that can really get this moving for you. Once you set it up on one character, it will typically save under the default profile, and it'll stay for all your characters unless you go in and create a new profile and change it per character. Typically, I recommend just set it up once the way you like it, and then you can go ahead and just use it for all your tunes. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to go through these menus. I'm not going to go super in depth. I'm just going to tell you some of the stuff that I like to do, and I'm going to show you how it affects the targets here. So first of all, you're able to change if they show or hide whenever something's hostile or friendly. I just leave that pretty normal. You can choose to make it scale with your UI or not. The biggest things on here is that the target glow. So watch, when I target Rogue Wizard, you're going to see that it glows blue around it. Okay, that's this here. You can change the color of that. And that's really nice for knowing what you're targeting, aside from the fact that you'll see there's a bit of a fade as well. So I like to have that on, and I also like to do this show target arrows. When it gets chaotic in a raid, sometimes there's a lot of health bars. Just making it stand out more so you know exactly what you're targeting is really nice. And you can change the size of these arrows as much as you want to really call it out. And again, the target glow color will change the arrows as well. So if we wanted to make this, let's see, a dark blue, you make it a dark blue. So you make it kind of whatever works for you. If you're tanking, you may see different colors than if you're DPSing or healing. So it's going to be up to you how you want to do that. That's the most important things here is the glow and the arrow size. Fade rolls. So I have two targets here, so you can see that this Rogue Wizard is faded because my main target is this one here. If you change this slider here that says non-target alpha, you can make it fade even more, as you can see. So it's really up to you how much you want that to fade so you can really have your main target stand out. I'm going to leave it at the default 0.5, but sometimes I do like to bring this down a little bit if you're in fights that are really ad heavy. You can see there's a few other things here. To be honest with you, there's not a ton of things I like to change in there other than the fader. So then we get into the actual health bars. You can see you can change the colors of hostile players, stuff like that, hostile enemies. All that's able to be changed. You can change the bar texture here, your bar animation. So you could do a couple of different things there. You can enable execute so that you know it's time to execute if you're playing an execute character. Cast bars. Unfortunately, they ran out of mana here, so you're not going to see it, but you can have a cast bar color, and it'll actually show if it's uninterruptible by coloring it differently. And you can actually adjust the size of that cast bar. And it's apparent that these two both ran out of mana while I was sitting here getting this video ready. So I'll show you that at the end with this other wizard over here. Text, you can change the font face on the name of the character, Rogue Wizard there, and you can change the font size to be however you'd like, whether you want it smaller or bigger. You can set the offset, small font size, everything there. Nothing really major here that I ever really change. Frame sizes. So you can change the frame size, frame width, frame height. So you can change those to be however you'd like. I don't use personal frames. I typically use shadow unit frames, which we'll talk about another time. And then I use Voodoo, which I've done a video for already. So again, just a nice way to make these stand out. And you can also have auras show on top of them. So these are really nice for Warlocks, Affliction. I use this a lot, where you'd see all the debuffs right above them. So if you were multi-dotting, it was really easy to see all your targets and the time remaining on them, and you can have them sorted by time remaining so you know what to fix next. Also really nice in a fight like Agrimar, where you had one of the ads CC'd on Heroic. You can see a countdown timer right above its head, so you can just keep an eye on it looking to the right or left. So again, really nice add-on for managing buffs and debuffs above the enemy as well. From a threat standpoint, tank mode is a default thing. You really don't have to set up if you're tanking. If it's your target, you'll see that it's green. If it turns yellow, it's transitional. You're going to be losing threat. And purple will mean off tank, which is essentially means that you have another tank on it and you're next in line. Class resources will actually show on it. So if I was a rogue, you would see combo points showing up. I believe it's below the bar. Might be above. And this is the last thing that's pretty important. One of the biggest problems I have with the default party bars, especially if you're fighting a really large mob, is that their health bar can actually go off the screen. Extraordinarily frustrating to me. So here, you can allow KUI nameplates to modify variables. So this right here, I've already modified, but this is a top clamp distance. Essentially, that means when it's going to clamp to the screen, and this is the distance it'll clamp. So watch this target. See, even when I move past her, it won't go off the screen, which is really nice. See how it still stays there? So that's a really nice thing. I would normally like to, I turned it off so you guys could see the default this isn't on, but I would turn that on and I would mess with your top clamp distance so that you could make sure that it worked for you when you were fighting a larger mob. Is that high enough? And that's at 0.12 right there. And you can adjust that more as well. Make it clamp further. It's not going to be a ton, but it's nice. So that's KUI nameplates. Not a lot. Pretty easy add-on. A little bit of things here and there that you might want to adjust. The size of the bars, the color of the arrows, the transparency of the Rogue Wizard. And just before I end this, I'm going to go over and let's go ahead and engage one of these casters so you can see the casting bar underneath. So this wizard will start to cast on us, and you'll see that if it's this color here, gray, it's interruptible. So you can actually put that right there. And you can actually change that cast bar too. Watch if we make it bigger. You can actually see the icon. So kind of a neat way to see the cast and the icon for it. Just the last little piece there. So that's KUI nameplates. Pretty easy. I think everybody can really benefit from using it. And if you have any questions, leave some comments below. Thanks, guys.